Johnson lifters, made in the USA. Hey, we're getting ready to assemble this 304 AMC long block we've been working on. Got the cam in it, still have to put some lube on it. We're getting ready to put the crank in it. Hey everybody, happy Saturday, how are we doing? We got David back here. We're going to be assembling this engine. Hey, remember I did these heads? Came out nice, huh? Hardened seats and guides. Most of this video I'm going to just hyperlapse. Hey, so David's going to put some molly on here. We're going to get the bearings in here and get the crank torqued. We'll do it all in hyperlapse. Here we go, we're going to torque them. Doing about 60 the first time. This thing takes 105 pounds? Yep. Make sure there's oil on these bolts. Don't put them in dry. Now you can put oil under the heads of the bolts. That gives the bolt proper torque, less friction. Just going back through, double checking them all. You don't want to miss one. Actually, sometimes after it sits for a second, you'll get a tiny bit of rotation out of it. Which doesn't really matter, but it matters to me. Alright.
And it spins awesome.
We're going to hang the timing on this thing. David's playing monkey. We're going to put a little bit of blue Loctite on the bolt too, just to be safe. There you go, the crank gear goes on. We're arguing about who's doing stuff. I guess this is David's turn to do something. Okay, just tightening that. We're not torquing it, just a feel thing. There you go. Make sure you get these dots aligned. There you go. I've highlighted them with a Sharpie. Okay, we got to put oil on these nuts. Once again, we got to cut down on that friction. I got a special socket that fits the crank to turn it during assembly. Okay, I've got the cylinders all wiped out. Don't use a shop rag. You'll get little pieces of lint that'll clog your filter. So make sure you get a lot of oil in here. This is just 30 weight. Regular old oil. I have a ring tool here. David gets the cap. Arrow to the front. Make sure we're not going to run into the crankshaft. Okay, we get oil on it. We're going to oil these rings. Some people will just dip these in oil. I rotate them around and around. Now I'm going to align the gaps. I'm putting one here, the bottom one goes down here, and the oils are here and here. I've had people tell me that they had an engine that smoked, they took it apart and all the rings were lined up. Well, you know what? I've taken apart engines I put together and the rings aren't where I put them. If a ring doesn't rotate in the bore, it's not going to seal properly. So David's going to put the cap on it. Make sure the rod can wiggle on there. Usually if that rod doesn't wiggle, it means you got a bent rod. So let's put you on hyperlapse and let's go. Now David gets the other side. Here we go on the other side. More oil. Alright, let's get these other pistons in the hole. I'm lubing everything up with Dello 400 high zinc diesel oil. Good for the rings. I'm the catcher on this one. I always put a little oil on that skirt. And you have to oil them rings up. And then I always do a whole revolution, make sure everything's nice and free. And then I line them up. Do the oil rings in the back and then the top 2 rings in the front and offset them a bit. Like that old guy was saying, we get people that say the rings were lined up and this and that, and that's why I was smoking. What are you calling old? That typically happens, I've heard, from out around cylinders. Sometimes they can make the rings line up. Must have heard that from somebody pretty smart. Get the cap on there and tighten everything. And when you're putting the engine together, you want to make sure everything's nice and free. Like when I was beating that piston in there, there's just a feel to it. You want to make sure everything's nice and freely moving. You're done? I can talk in my videos. He just nods his head. Here we go. Once again, we got to make sure we got movement between them. Nothing can bind when you put an engine together. Bind, stop. All right, let's get on hyperlapse and get this thing together. Okay, let's get them torqued. All right, let's torque them. Okay, let's flip that thing over and get the heads on it. Okay, we're getting ready to put the heads on it. We got some Johnson lifters, made in USA. Don't get Chinese. They'll go in here with some lube on them. And we got to put the head bolts in. Now these particular ones are blind holes. You got to make sure you put a little bit of oil on these. If they go all the way through to the water in here, then you got to put sealer on them. So I'm going to put oil on these just a little bit because it'll hydraulic in that hole, and I'll put a little bit under the washers. Look who came over here to inspect. Hey Bear, are we doing okay? Huh? I guess we're doing okay. He's going back to the desk. So I'll get you up on hyperlapse. Let's go. Okay, he's torqued it 3 times now in stages and going around in a circle. Do this too. He's going to run down the line and make sure that every one of them are torqued, in case you missed one. It's always good insurance. Starting to look like an engine, huh? All we got left are the push rods. Go in there and fly out the other side, and some rockers. Here's all the stuff I don't use. You know, the push rods do have hardened ball ends. They're in really good shape. Rockers aren't too bad. I didn't even check the valves or the springs. When I build engines, I don't cut corners. If you want corners cut, you can put it together yourself. All right, let's get them rockers on. Okay, so here's the rockers off one side. They have these little bridges with tie bars. Got to oil these. Don't put anything together dry. Oil in there. And that's what that looks like. Let me do the rest of them. I'm going to dip these push rods in a little bit of this stuff that gets all over everything. But this moly is a great lube. Go down into the lifter. And these just go on. These are self-aligning. They're non-adjustable. I've already made the adjustment with the valve stem height. So we just run these down. Let me do the rest of them. Hey, that jet ski that blew the gasket on my last video, about, well, not my last one, maybe a couple weeks ago. David's helping him out here. He just got it on the head machine base and just sanding it with some 400. It's pretty flat. They're pretty flat. I could set this up in my machine, but I'm just doing him a favor. The cylinders on that thing and he got it hot somehow, so we made money off him boring the cylinders, just helping him out. We don't always have to make money every time on people. Let's get back to our AMC. Look at Mr. Inspector wants to go home. Now let's torque them. And when I say torque them, I mean use this. The torque spec is way too high on these. They're 5/16 fastener, so just feel them. And here's what that looks like. Okay, if you buy a set of heads from a machine shop, you don't know if they've done the correct job setting the heights of those valves. Let me show you how to check after you get them on. So make sure on the base circle, and just make sure that you got lifter play. Make sure it's not loose. And then you can look. Look here. There's a clip right here. This is at the top of the travel. So I loosened it up. So now I'm going to run it back down. Watch this piston go down into the lifter. See that? Now look. See, it didn't bottom out. It's got to be in the middle of that travel. That's how you can tell if the heads are properly done. Here's what that looks like when it's turning. Hey, thanks, David.
Welcome.
Came out nice, didn't it? Uh-oh. Got a little problem. So when I ordered this kit, I ordered 4 4-packs. They sent me 4 2-packs. So they're coming out of Texas. Got to have one last look at this beauty. Came out just beautiful. Be a little beautifuler with rockers on this side. There's this end. Hey, the most important part of a build, keep your hands clean. They got to be clean. Any little grit on there will just ruin stuff. Thanks for coming along. Hey, David will put out his video. He's going to he'll finish putting those rockers on his channel, David S. Butler. There's the page right there somewhere. There it is. I'm impatient, so I'm going to ship this out tonight. It's about 7 o'clock. I don't have a lot of editing to do, so I'd like to thank you guys for coming along. I really appreciate you. You guys got to be nice to each other, okay? And you enjoy your Saturday night or your Sunday morning or maybe next Tuesday. Who knows? We'll see you next time. Bye.